Howdy folks. So today we are talking about the $1,000 Ham Shack challenge that we did on the Coffee and Ham Radios channel, or CaHR channel as some folks call it. For this challenge, I wanted to cover the ground rules first, and there are a couple of them. The first thing is that you have to be able to buy everything new. The second rule is that we are just using the list price to come up with the total. We're not including shipping or coupon codes or anything like that, or discounts you may get. Whatever the list price is what you should enter for that. And then the third rule is that if you go over $1,000, you lose, you're disqualified. So it has to come in at under $1,000. Let's go ahead and get started. So this makes me laugh because I did do a little bit of a video on this over on the CaHR channel. The first product that we're going to talk about adding to your ham shack is the Evolve III Maestro, and it is a $59.99 laptop. Now, I want to caution folks that this is not a premium laptop. It's not a nice laptop. It's not even a good laptop. It's pretty much the most basic bare bones laptop that you can get that you can still do some ham activity on. Some of the stuff it comes in handy for are programming HTs. Some of them require you to use software from vendors that only run on Windows. You can use things like Chirp to program your HT or mobile radio. You can do things like WSJTX to do digital modes, run logging software, and it meets the need for that. And one of the things that got everybody all whipped up is that this laptop runs off of 12 volts. So you can make an adapter for it and power it off of your power supply or battery if you're in the field. And for those reasons, it's somewhat popular. And because of its price, I included it in the Ham Shack Challenge. So in terms of a shack radio, one of the ones that I picked, and this is a little bit more expensive. I know you can get dual band radios for less than $319.95. But I included this because Yaesu makes fantastic mobile radios. I've got one that's been in my Jeep for more than 5 years, and I've had it longer than that. They're built to last. They're like tanks. This one in particular is dual band, so get you 2 meter, 70 centimeter. No digital modes. It has a detachable face should you grow and then maybe move this into your vehicle, or you have different mounting options and things there. Another reason I picked this radio is that on the back of it, it has a DIN port that allows you to get audio in and out of the radio. It does not have a built-in sound card. It doesn't have a TNC, but there are low-cost TNC or software TNC options that you can use for this to do things like APRS or other digital options. And again, Yaesu makes fantastic stuff. So what I wanted to do was at least get one premium piece of equipment in for pride of ownership around the ham shack, but also as a long-term investment. To go ahead and power your ham shack and your mobile rig, I picked this MFJ 4225 MV power supply. It's $174.99. One of the things that we've seen lately is the cost of power supplies have gone up with some of the supply chain and chip issues. I have this particular power supply. I'm getting ready to actually give it to a buddy of mine who is interested in ham radio and setting up his own ham shack. And I used this thing for about 5 years without incident. It's a nice power supply. It's not the best power supply in the world, but it should be able to power your ham shack and get you off to the races and last you a long time. The other thing is that MFJ, in my experience, has exceptional customer service and will help you out with any products or problems that you may have. And you can power a couple of different things off of here. You would easily be able to power your laptop that we talked about, as well as that Yaesu dual band radio. All right, let's see what else we have as a item for the ham shack. I wanted to include something to give you more ability to monitor the spectrum and do things. So in this particular case, my buddy Hayden, that's him right there. He is an advocate of the RTL-SDR dongle. I am as well. I love this thing. And you can use this to actually listen to HF frequencies. You can do it to receive digital modes and decode them. You can use them for non-ham bands. You can pick up frequencies and listen to signals and things along those lines. You can use them for things like slow scan TV, which you should be able to run a slow scan TV app on that laptop. Pulls things off of HF, UHF, VHF. You can also use these to monitor public safety things like fire and police. They're really limitless, and at $29.95, they're a heck of a bargain. You can get some free software, install it. The laptop should run it fine, and it'll give you a lot of experience in monitoring and listening to different signals, and just help you build as a ham. SDR is a great way to get into radio, and as a result, I added it to my ham shack list. So here's where it gets a little controversial, and some people are going to be like, Ape, you are crazy for putting this in here. And maybe I am. You can get what is called a QDX with Enclosure for about $89. And this is a QRP transceiver that only does digital modes on some of the HF bands. And it comes as a kit, so you'll have to put it together. When we talked about the rules of the contest, it is for hams. It doesn't say new hams and experienced hams, so this kit does have a lot of community support. So if you're putting it together and you had problems, you can. It's very well documented. You can join. I think they have a groups IO that you can take a look at, and there's different ways to get help. But once you have this set up, you have a nice lightweight way to make digital contacts on HF frequencies, and that would get you off to the races, making contacts and doing things that are cool. And this would work just fine with WSJTX and the Evolve III Maestro laptop. So I included it in here. I think some folks will be like, but it's a kit, you got to build it. You should be able to get through that. It might take you some time, may take some patience, but I think that most people can get this thing built. Now, one of the things that's important is that when you get into ham radio, you need to be able to either build or buy and tune different antennas, make sure they're set up correctly, check your SWR, make sure that you're getting full power out. And one of the tools that I've found invaluable over the last couple of years are these NanoVNAs. Now, this isn't the top of the line NanoVNA. It is one of the earlier models, but it has got plenty of features and functionalities to get you off to the races. And I don't think that any ham shack is complete without some sort of antenna analytic capability. You can use this device. It's got a screen right on it. You can run the software NanoVNA Saver on the laptop that we mentioned, and be able to measure things either in your ham shack or out in the field. This particular NanoVNA is the NanoVNA H. It is small with a 2.8 inch screen. And you can pick this up on Amazon from Aursinc. I am plugging them a little bit. They've been a huge sponsor of the Smokin' Ape channel. Very thankful to them. You can pick this up for $54.99. Now, some of the things that we're going to need are coax, and on Amazon I found 25 feet of RG8X for $24.99. I'm not 100% sure that this is a picture of that particular coaxial cable. This was just in my clip collection, so I put it on here. RG8X is not the best cable in the world, and then when you buy stuff off of Amazon versus some of the ham vendors that are out there, you take a little bit of a risk in terms of quality. But you could use something like this on the QDX, and you could be just fine for mounting it in the ham shack or even in portable use. It should help you out. Now, this is definitely not the picture of the LMR I found on Amazon. I found a 25-foot section for $59.99, and I would call that Chinese LMR 400, not like a Belden, I think is the company that manufactures it. But the point is that you have $59.99 to buy cable for your dual band mobile radio. So one of the things is that when you have coaxial cable, attenuation is something that you're concerned about, because as your signal goes through lesser quality cable, it attenuates more and you get a weaker signal in and out of your radio through your transmission line and antenna system. So you want to buy a little bit better or quality cable for your dual band mobile radio, and that is why I picked this one, because you don't want to lose a lot of that signal. You want to be able to hear things, and you want to be able to have yourself heard. Now let's talk a little bit about antennas. I actually picked this antenna up a few weeks ago. I'm still playing around with it and testing. We'll have a video on it at some point, I'm sure. But it is a Comet GP1 ground plane antenna, and it is their entry-level ground plane antenna at $74.95. Now, some folks say, hey, you get a mag mount, you can get this, you can get that. Again, I wanted to look at things that you could buy that would last you and be of quality. And this is a nice antenna that should be able to last you for a while. You can mount it on a you can mount it on a pole or a post here, as you can see in the picture. Or you can use those brackets. It comes with all the mounting hardware to mount it to like a fence rail or something along those lines. Really good, decent antenna. Comet is a great antenna company, and this should work great with that Yaesu radio that we took a look at. And in terms of progressing through our antennas, I picked another one. This is a decent antenna. A lot of people get started with these. A lot of people use these. I have one. I have the 80 meter version. This is the MFJ 1984 MP end-fed half-wave antenna at 89.95. This one, they have a LP, a low power. This is medium power that goes up to 300 watts. And I picked that because it should still work fine with the QDX. And then it's an antenna that you could use should you invest or get a new HF radio in the future. It's something that you could use or grow with. Again, MFJ has really good customer service, and they allow you to work on or repair your tools or your antenna if you have any problem with it. It does not void the warranty. So for that reason, I went ahead and I picked this antenna. So no ham shack is complete without a Baofeng, and this is one that is sold by Radioddity. I believe they have an exclusive on this radio. It is the GT-5R, and it's priced at $26.99. Now, we've used this radio. I have a couple videos on it on the channel, and we actually tested it for spectral purity, and it passed. So that was one of the things that people complained a lot about these Baofeng radios when they first came out, the UV5Rs, is that they were dirty. They had a lot of spurious emissions and harmonics that made them not fit for use. That has all been corrected in this radio. You can program it with chirp. Makes it easy. There's a little bit of a steep learning curve learning how to operate this from the front panel, but with practice and some diligence, you should be just fine. And for $26.99, it gives you a nice ultra portable ham radio that you can take on the go with you, maybe take it in the car, use it again in your ham shack. It's a good value, and it's a radio that I suggest to people who are looking to get into ham radio, and they are on a little bit of a tight budget. Now, the final product that I threw in here are some adapters or connectors, and here we have SMA to SO239 connectors for $6.90. And the reason we're going to need these is to hook the QDX up to our coax and then to our antenna. We're going to need some sort of adapter. The QDX, I believe, has an SMA connector on it. You may be able to also use this to connect the Baofeng to the GP antenna, should that be something that you want to play around with or attempt. All right, finally, I just wanted to run down the total damage. We did not go over $1,000, so I don't get disqualified. Everything here is based off of the list price, so I am well within the rules there. And everything you can buy new. The Evolve III Maestro you have to buy at a micro center, or you have to buy at a micro center, or have your buddy buy it at a micro center and ship it to you. But here you can see all the prices. We added up to $981.64, leaving us with $18.36 left over. So you can go out and get yourself a burger, fries, and a cold pop. Anyhow, I want to thank everybody for watching. I had a really good time with this contest. If you want to play along, you can post something below. You can add it there. If you make a video, let us know on the Coffee and Ham Radios channel, and we'll link your video to the playlist, and that way you can play along as well. Sorry, there's no cash prizes here, but thanks for watching, everybody. Totally appreciate it.